Hello, world. It's John Pinto, your roving realtor, bon vivant, video blogger, and podcaster, and I am here with Guru of NHD Natural Hazard Disclosures, Ted Stephanos of HomeGuard. How you doing, Ted?
Doing good, John. How you doing?
Very good. And Rafael Betances, all things HomeGuard, roof, termite, home, and pool inspections. How are you?
I'm doing great, John. Thank you again for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Looking at your website today, I noticed you did have a little advisory on mandatory transfer tax disclosure and private transfer tax. And I do remember when I went to the California Association of Realtors 13 years ago, this was a hot topic as people would list property. Uh, they would enter into a contract with a buyer's agent and the listing agent and the buyer and the seller, and then all of a sudden find out that there was some kind of an obscure, undisclosed private transfer tax by the original developer to either just give him extra cash, fund his kid's college degree, take care of open space, whatever the case may be. So the California Association of Realtors did lobby, and we did get a mandatory disclosure. Thankfully, it's in addition to being somewhat obscure, it doesn't come up that often. But what could you tell us about the disclosure and what consumers and realtors should be mindful about?
Sure. So, what the private transfer fee is related to is a fee that gets paid every time the home is sold. So, it's not like something that just gets done one time, but it'd be every time the home is sold. And that money would go to some entity. Usually, it's the developer. And the thing is, in the tax report that we provide as part of our basic product, we don't tell you whether or not there is a transfer fee assessed with that property, but it's just a notice and basically directing them to the title officer and the preliminary title report, because that's where that information will be found.
Good. So the words to the wise from TED Talks, is if you're a listing agent or a seller, make sure you're not oblivious. And when that preliminary title report comes in, take a look at it for a private transfer tax, because that's something that is going to definitely need to be negotiated in the transaction. And by all means, if you are a buyer or a buyer's agent, you want to dig into that preliminary title report. And in addition to whether or not there's a private transfer tax, see what the existing liens are, what the loan balance is, make sure there's enough equity to sell the property, make sure there's no IRS tax liens. So this kind of begs the bigger question. Your disclosure is explaining to people to look for have a mandatory disclosure on a private transfer tax, but it brings up the whole question of how important it is for consumers and realtors to actually read the preliminary title report and look at everything in there, including but not limited to private transfer taxes. Would you say that's an accurate summary?
Yeah, perfectly accurate. Yeah, there's you never know what part of that NHD report, tax report, environmental report could be a stomach block or hold up escrow at the last minute. But this is something kind of more on the obscure side of disclosure, where it really probably doesn't come up that often, but when it does, it could raise a lot of questions and cause some problems.
Yeah, especially if at the end of the transaction, everybody sees there's a $10,000 transfer tax, a private transfer tax that hasn't been negotiated, and the whole question is, okay, who's going to pay this?
Yep,
Not a
and
play.
exactly. Or they're going to say, "Why am I paying this?"
There you go. There you go. So, almost everything you ever wanted to know about private transfer taxes, be forewarned. Look at that preliminary title report. Ted, thank you for imparting that information. And Rafael, where do people get a hold of you if they want to order roof, termite, home, or pool inspections?
Absolutely. You guys can either call me or text me at 707-616-8762. I'll be more than happy to have a call with you guys. And just remember that those of you who have older home warranty services get a $50 discount. And if you're a military member or your client is a military member, they automatically get an extra $50 discount on top of that. So just keep that in mind, and I'll be happy to connect with anybody.
Excellent. So thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next video.